Okay, family, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Cooking with Nicole. And today we're going to make the brown stew turkey neck. Yes, back home we call this ghetto oxtail. So we could get to the ingredients. I have 5 cloves of garlic, Scotch bonnet pepper, a couple pieces of ginger, 1 whole onion, some thyme, and then we have rice browning. We're going to use some paprika, some salt, black pepper, my Jamaican Seasoning blend, and also this quinoa chicken bouillon flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna get all this chopped up and I'll be back. Okay, so right here I'm putting on my gloves. I know these are house gloves, but I use them in my kitchen to meat like these. So this is just want to show you guys how the turkey neck look before I clean it. That's like silver skin like you will see on the ribs, and you'll have to pull all that off. So I did that for most of it. This is like 5 pounds of turkey neck. So you get all that off of there because it's not clean. And out of the 5 pounds of turkey neck, you just have to make sure you clean it real good because it can tend to be raw um, a little bit. And so that's what I did. And out of all the 5 pounds, that's what I took off of it. As you can see, the lime rimes in there. And I went ahead and soaked these in some vinegar and water, washed that off, and then I re-soaked it in about 4 or 5 limes for over an hour. And then I went ahead and cleaned them off, and I just have them soaking here in some lime water again to make sure that it's clean, good, and also to try to cut back on that raw smell. So what I'm going to do now is rinse these off. This is the 3rd time that I'm cleaning them like I said earlier. So I'm just going to make sure that they're real clean. So I went ahead and chopped up all the garlic and onion, and now I'm getting to the seasoning, and that's chopped up everything, and I'm getting into the seasoning. I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of each seasoning. I know you guys hardly see me use measuring equipment, but I have to get better at doing that. So I'm going to measure all the seasoning out, which is going to be, like I said, 1 tablespoon of each. So we're going to do the Jamaican seasoning. That's like more than the 1 tablespoon because I wanted to make sure that I really get into the seasoning, get it seasoned real good. Then the same thing for the black pepper. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure all these seasonings out and make sure I get the right measurements. Some of them are not going to be a total of 1 tablespoon. It might be a tablespoon and a half. And I'm not going to do a whole tablespoon of salt. So I'm going to measure these all out, mix them together, and I'll be back. So right here, I'm tasting for the season for salt and if I need to add anything else. And that was just perfect. Give it a thumbs up. Okay, so right here I have all the turkey neck nice and clean. I'm just going to drain off the excess water that has been sitting in the bottom of this bowl. So it's a lot of water that was left over. So now they're nice and pretty. I don't know, I didn't cut that off. It's okay. So they cut them at a decent size for my husband. So that was nice. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and sprinkle the seasoning all over. I'm going to move this stuff out the way. That's how the seasoning look. So let's move this stuff out the way and just get the seasoning. I am going to go ahead and use the entire seasoning on this because it's going to be sitting overnight in the fridge. So I'll go ahead and season the whole thing. So now that I have all the seasoning in and mixed in real well with the meat, I'm going to go ahead now and add all the onion, the garlic, and the thyme to it. And then I'm going to work that in. And then once I'm done working this in, then I'm going to go in with the browning. Now I don't want to pour too much because this browning is a little thick, and if you get too heavy-handed with it, your meat will become too dark. So I did not add that much to it. So this is the right amount, because like I said, it will get too dark and too bitter. So you have to be light-handed with this browning. Okay, so this is all done. It came very good. It looked very nice. I am going to sit this in my fridge overnight. Usually you can do it for about 3 to 4 hours, depends on your day. But I like to, especially this, my turkey necks. Turkey neck, I'm sorry. I like to leave them in the fridge overnight so that seasoning can get soaked in real good. So I'll be back for when I'm ready the next day. Okay, family, so it's the next morning. Good morning to you guys. And I have a turkey neck. It's been sitting on the counter for about 2 hours trying to get it back to room temperature. And over here in my pot, I'm going to add in you guys know my favorite oil, which is the Costco oil. And I'm going to add I'll say about a tablespoon and a half of oil. Just love that coconut oil. I use it for everything. I'm never out of it. You can get it at Costco or you can find it on Amazon. For me, it's cheaper to get in Costco, to be honest. So while my pot is getting hot, you see the oil is already start bubbling right there. I'm gonna go ahead and add the meat in. Yes, the oil is nice and hot. And I'm going to go ahead and add everything in at once, so it does not matter because I'm not like looking for a sear on there. So I'm going to go ahead and add all the meat in. Okay, so now that I poured all the meat in here, I moved the camera to the other side so you guys can see a little bit better and give me a better handling of the pot. So while all the meat is in, what I'm going to do, I was going to stir this, but I decided to leave it alone. Just cover it up and let it gather all its own water, the own juice. So I tried doing it, and while I was doing this, I was like, you know what, let me leave it alone. There I go, making that decision. So I'm going to cover this up and then for about 30 minutes and just let it get its own juice, and then I'll be back. Okay, so after about 30 minutes, this is how it looked. And this right here is with no water added at all whatsoever. So just by covering up, it gained its own juices, gravy. And while that was cooking, I went ahead and added some water into the kettle to make sure that it was hot. So while I pour the water in, it won't change the temperature of the meat and stop, the boiling process. So I'm gonna give this a good stir to make sure, move everything around, and just make sure everything is. It looks so good already, you guys, and it's not even much cook. So look how thick that is. Just if they'll get out the way, it's nice and thick. So yeah. So right now I'm just moving the way. I'm going to go ahead and add the water in. And when I pour the water in, I want to make sure that it covered the meat all the way so it can continue cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the hot water in. Okay, giving it some more good stir. And what I'm going to do is cover this back up. And I'm going to cover this back up for 1 hour. Let it cook, not troubling it at all. And once that hour is up, I have to check in between to see the water level. So I'm going to cover this back up and let it cook for 1 hour. Okay, I think this is around about the 30 to 45 minute mark. I just wanted to check it to make sure that the water is not dried out to where it start burning. So it's perfect. It's at a good level. It's at a decent one. So what I'm going to also do is add some more water again. Okay, so here it's going now after I add some more water in, and um it's coming along nicely. It smells wonderful, to be honest, and they still need some more time to cook. I can always tell when it needs just how they're moving around in the pot, which is weird, but once you cook something more than once or 3 times, you'll know when it's ready or not. So right now I'm just moving things around, getting them in to make sure that they're not sticking to the pot or anything. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to cover it up again and let it continue cooking, and then I'll be back to check on it. Okay, so here we're at maybe about 2 hours or so in, and look how pretty that looks. So what I'm going to do is check the meat, and this is something that you have to keep on stirring because you just want to make sure that you're moving the meat around. So I am going to check to see how soft the meat is getting, and it's pretty soft, as you can see, because look at that, because they weren't cut very thick, because I don't like them like that. So they're pretty cooked. They're almost there. So what I'm going to end up doing again is adding some more hot water to it. This is the final time that I'll be adding hot water. Look at that, nice and soft. So this is the final time that I will be adding hot water, and I will also taste for salt and also seasoning. Okay, family, so I went ahead and add some more water in. So what I'm going in now is with some Kerrygold butter, some thyme, a small onion, and the white part of some scallions I have. I didn't want them to go bad, so I went ahead and put those in. And what I'm also going to do is re-season the pot because I add so much water in, so all that seasoning from that has been sitting in the meat on the meat, you know, it get watered down. So I'm going to give that a stir, and I'm going to add some more seasoning in, just like the ones from last night. I'm going in with some paprika, probably about a teaspoon, and about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of paprika. I'm also going to go in some black pepper, and I am also going in with the Jamaican seasoning blend. Those are the only three that I'll be re-seasoning it with. I'm not gonna go back in with the pepper or anything else, so I don't want it to be too spicy. So what I'm going to do is give this a stir and let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so now it's at the 30-minute mark, and it looks good. It tastes wonderful. So I don't want it to be too, it's still a little bit watery, and I don't want it to be that water runny because it's a gravy. I don't want it to be that like that, just like watery. So what I'm going to do is continue to let this cook for just a little bit more to the thickness that I wanted, and then after that, once you guys see me, I will be plating. And right here, I am also tasting for seasoning and the salt content. And so here you have it, a nice juicy plate of brown stewed turkey neck. Doesn't that look delicious? I hope you give this recipe a try. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, hit that bell notification, and until next time, be safe. Bye-bye.